Hello everybody, this is Dren608. This is the Unconditional Surrender playthrough of Me, Myself, and I main event scenario. Game is published by GMT Games, designed by Salvatore Vasta, developed by Mark Day. We're about ready to enter into the Western operation phase of September 1943, the last for sure clear weather turn of this year. And the West has a bunch of stuff they want to try and do. So the Germans should strategically redeploy so I don't get my little freebie little invasion into Marseille like I was hoping I might be able to pull off. However, they did evacuate, worried about me trying to cut them off in Venice with two invasion things. That is a possibility. I might have gone ahead and used one there just to screw up his supply and things like that. So we are going to initiate. Question is whether I want to try and do this with a mobile attack, or if I want to just do this with one big assault. Well, I suppose I could try it with an assault with the British first. That's probably the best thing to do. All right, we're going to fly this airplane up here, and it takes a sortie for moving. I just want to get it up closer to the front lines here, and then we're going to activate the 10th. And it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up the rail line, then 5 for the river, 6 for the unit, 7, 8 for the hex, and declare an assault here on that unit. And then the British armored unit will also just go ahead and declare an assault here. So, yeah, that's how we'll start this. Then I can use the Americans to possibly do a mobile attack. If these guys flip him or something, then the American unit might be able to mobile attack his way, up the coast here. So we're trying to be sneaky, so to speak. Let's see if it works. So for this combat, we're starting off with the British armored unit being the primary. So he's +1, and then he's +2 because he's armor. And then he has +1 for a buddy. Well, yeah, he gets +1 for his buddy. We're going to go to combat commitment. The Germans do have a tanks marker that they could play here if they wanted to. So we have to go to combat commitment. Obviously, the British are going to throw in their airplane. And probably a tanks marker on this guy. So, I mean, British are definitely committing no matter what. The Germans think long and hard about it. It's like -2 to come across this terrain and stuff. They're going to have to try and take their chances because they feel like they're really going to need their tanks marker either over here in Russia, or if the British try to go ahead and take out Brest, they're going to drop it there to keep the strategic warfare advantage, to keep their production up, keep the British off the continent. So they're going to not use it down here, at least not yet. And why did I highlight them? They should have been activated. Just not hitting the wrong keys. So anyway, yeah, we get to combat commitment. The British are the only ones really throwing stuff in. They're going to throw a tanks marker. They're going to add a sortie to their airplane because there's nobody who can do anything about it. So they put the tanks marker on the guard on this thing here. So that becomes a +2 for that. So let's just recount, make sure I got it right. 1 for the British, and then they're +2 because they're armor. And then they're +2 because they have an airplane. And then they're having a guy who thinks he's a tank added in, which gives them another +2. And then they have to subtract 1 for the ridge and 1 for the rough terrain. So it's a +5 to +2 for the Germans. Not bad. So we'll go ahead and do that assault. The British roll. Oh boy, 6 + 5 is an 11. Ouch. And the Germans roll. 4 + 2 is a 6. So we go look at that one up. 11 to a 6. It's just a DR. The Germans want to delay them as long as possible, so they're going to go here. And the British will have the armored unit take it. So that was kind of fun. They're immediately going to follow this up with an American assault, I think. So the Americans will move 1 here over the rail line and then attack there for 3 more. So they have 6 left. Right? Start with 10, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have 6 left. And then they will go to combat commitment. The Germans have the same philosophy here. It's only -1, of course, but they really can't afford to waste that tanks marker here in Italy. If we were up around the Po River, then yeah, I probably would be using the tanks marker, but I don't think I can use it right now. So, Germans say no. The Americans, of course, say yes. And add a sortie to their plane. So the Americans start off at +1 because they're American, +2 because they're armor, +2 for their airplane. The Germans are +2 because they're +2. And then it's -1 for the rough terrain that I'm attacking into. So we attack. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. +4 to +2. The Americans roll. 3 + 4 is a 7. And the Germans roll. A 1 + 2 is a 3. So it's a 7 to a 3. That's just a DR. So they'll back up into the mountains again. The Americans will go ahead and take the hex. They've got points left to spend, so they'll spend 3 more just to see if they can, get this thing. And they will also go to combat commitment. Same logic. So the Americans add a sortie, and the Germans don't do anything. So it's +4 to +2. Americans roll. 4 + 4 is an 8. Germans roll. 4 + 2 is a 6. 8 to a 6 is a diamond. Yay, the Germans held for a turn. The Americans have 3 movement points left, so they're going to go ahead and spend them. Just to try and push them across this ridge up here. Then I can let the this garrison unit run up and capture Rome or something. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, he can go and capture Rome. Because otherwise I won't be in supply, and it's one of those. I better make sure I can keep myself in supply. So yes, I can. So again, +4 to +2. I have to add in a third sortie on this airplane, and away we go. Americans roll. 4 + 4 is an 8 again. Germans roll. A 2 + 2 is a 4. An 8 to a 4, I believe, is a retreat. Yep. So we retreat. So over the mountains he goes. Over the mountains and through the woods. Yeah, probably over the mountains. So you can just go up the rail line and end up where it needs to be. And the Americans take the hex, of course. Oh, I should have them activated. And then the British will spend another production point and activate this guy. I haven't been taking him off the British, so I need to go do that. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, 8. So let's make that flight controlled. And let's go take off 4 points off the British total there. They're down to 28. And then we bring up the turn track and put the British tanks back on there. Okay. Now we're all good with the world. So they broke whatever line this is down here. Is that like the casino line? They broke that, captured Rome, and pushed the Germans up towards, I guess that's the Gothic line along Falagia and Bologna. So they pushed them up to that line up there. Okay. Now, what you wanna do? What you wanna do? I could lay down. The question is, do I want to invade with the Canadians? Or I could invade with the BEF, but then I wouldn't be able to defend as well. So BEF can only get to like C-Zone 7 or C-Zone 11. which would be, going into like Amsterdam or Antwerp or something, which would not be good because I really don't have airplanes that can help me out there, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I could move him there and up to 2711 and I would reach Antwerp. Or I could just try and take the Canadian and take on Brest and see if I can hold it. Next, if I take Brest this turn, okay, what can he do? He still has his tanks. Doesn't have any air. So this guy would be +4. What do I have here? I have to throw a surprise attack marker to do this. I do have an airdrops marker. 1, 2, 3. Do I want to risk the airdrop to take out Brest? Wouldn't be able to use it later to like punch a hole here in Belgium with all the the marshes, the rivers, the forests. That's where that's where I assume I'm going to get stuck. Running across France is pretty easy because I'll be +5 just about anywhere I want to go. So I'm not too worried about running across France here and the rivers. It's this initial invasion getting across. If I lose the paradrop here, I won't have it to do any other flanking invasions or anything. I do have 2 surprise attack markers. So I mean, like I could invade. I could have the Canadian invade in Nantes and have the BEF invade in Brest. And only have the BEF invade in Brest if the one in Nantes succeeds. Nantes is too far away for a paradrop, so he would only be +2 if he throws in his tank. I would be airplane, fleet, that's 4, 5, 6, 7. -2, I'd be +5 to +2. I could probably throw in like a free forces or an ultra. So I could be +6 to +2. We try to do this complicated stuff. Blow our surprise attack markers now. What do you think, guys? I think we goes for it. Well, if we go into Nantes, okay, he can't get to there. But this guy could move back, giving me no retreat route, and I don't have a port on the Bay of Biscay to use my evacuation marker. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So I think I need to go do Brest first. And I think I'm going to do it. He won't get to counterattack me until I have tanks markers back. I think I'm going to use the BEF. I'm going to activate them. It took me a little while to figure out the right way to do this. I thought I knew when I was coming in here what I was going to do, and then things kind of changed when I did so well in Italy. I lost my train of thought here. So he's going to activate, and then this convoy and the home fleet are going to be taking him for an amphibious invasion, which means I had to do this first. I'm going to take the American Express. Surprise. I can say the word, sure I can. Surprise attack marker is going to be in the C zone of 7. Pick your hex on 7 that it's in, okay? Whether it's Brest or this one up here, I don't really care. I always put them in the C zone to make sure everybody knows it's actually in the C zone, not 2 spaces from a hex. If I put it in a physical ground hex, then I always assume that it's within 2 spaces of that hex is the surprise attack effect. So, I know the rules don't say to do that way, but I find this to be far more obvious. It's like, there's a surprise attack marker in that C zone. It's affecting the C zone. So, anyway, so he's attacking here. So he went 1 here. Do the Germans have their thingy? Do they have their thingy? They don't yet. Okay, so they can't even intercept. So it's 1, 2. We're going to attack there. So if we go through the motions, I am +1 because I'm the BEF. We go to combat commitment. He is +2 because he's German. And then I am -1 for invading and attacking a unit when I invade, and -1 because it's a city. Then we go to combat commitment. but obviously the British are going to. The Germans feel like they have to try and stop the invasion. So, sorry, East Front. We're going to drop the tanks marker here. So, tanks marker is going on this guy. So, now we go to the combat commitment for the Allies would have been their airplane. Right? Control S. So that would have been +2 for the airplane. They get +2 for the escorting fleet. +3 total net. And and then I throw in a British. I still have one. I throw in the other British tanks marker. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I'm sorry, I'm doing this backwards. All right, rewind time. I was going to risk the airdrop marker because I really, really want to try and take this. I debated with myself, and it's like, no, I need to use it now. So this would have been right after the surprise attack marker. This would have been dropped. Then I do all this stuff, which is another reason why the Germans have to throw their tanks in there so that they're at least at +2. Okay, now, so if I throw in a tanks marker, I'm +1 for British, +2 for tanks, +2 for the fleet. That's a +5, and then +2 for the airplane is +7. -1 for attacking a unit, -1 for attacking a city. So that puts me down to +5. And the Germans are at +2 because they threw their tanks marker. And then just to add insult to injury, I'm going to go to the faction card, and I'm going to drop free forces. Do I want to go ahead and throw the Ultra? Be a +7? +7 means the minimum I can get. I need to look at the combat result table. At +7, the minimum I can get is an 8. And if I get a 2, 3. If I get a 3, I have to get a 4. No. If I'm +8, no, I'd be +7. So that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3, that's a 4. If I can roll a 4 or better, no matter what he rolls, he'll have to retreat out of the hex. It's a 50-50 chance of guaranteeing that I take the hex. What the heck? This is my attack. This is the big attack here. We're going to throw in the free forces, and we're going to throw in the ultra marker. Because you're allowed to. I just can't throw 2 ultra markers at it. So I'm adding all sorts of stuff here to this attack. So the free forces gave me a +1, and the ultra marker gave me a +1. So I'm a +7 to a +2. That's a lot. And the West, I'm going to go through that one more time. 1 for British, 2 for a tank unit, that's 3. 1 for free forces, 1 for ultra, that's 5. 2 for an airplane, that's 7. 2 for the fleet, which is 9. And then take away 2. 1 for the unit, 1 for the city. So I'm +7. Yes, I've got it right. Away we go. +7 British Canadians. I rolled a 6 + 7 is a 13, so they will definitely take the hex. And the Germans roll, oh my god, a 1. What did I 6 + 7 is a 13. A 13, and even with a +2, that is a DE. So not only did they take the hex, but they obliterated this unit. He's going to go onto the faction track here, faction card in the eliminated box. Oh, wow. That was phenomenal die rolling. 36, 1 in 36 chance, kids. 6-1 split. And then we got to go take off a national will point, so they're down to 50. We're chipping away at them. Why are these Italians still here? Who didn't take the Italians off the track? What's wrong with you? They went away a long time ago. Okay. Yeah, boy, howdy. I guess the BEF goes in here. And then the convoy and home fleet will come over here as well and take sorties. We got to put stuff back on the turn track here. So British tanks go here. And then we have to roll for the free forces. Free forces come back in 5 turns. They expended everything there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Free French don't want to come back till next year. They're taking the winter months off. And the Ultra marker comes back in 3 turns. So they just need Thanksgiving off. 1, 2, 3. They'll be back before Christmas. All right. Wow, things are not looking good for the Germans. I'm having some phenomenal luck with the Allied die rolls. And I'm going to put the Paratrooper on top so I remember to roll for him in a minute. The German tanks marker goes back on the turn track. So it's gone for this turn. And, oh boy, what do I want to do? Let's see, he can't isolate me if I do my second surprise attack marker. If I throw it in the Bay of Biscay, I could possibly land at Nantes. And to ensure that I actually have an armored unit on the board, I could land adjacent to Nantes and do the attack. Therefore, if I fail, I still have supply line out this way. So that's what we're going to do. We're doing, amazingly enough, we are doing Operation Overlord right now. Like, screw this, we're going to go do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, that is the Canadian. So the British are the ones, they decided they're not going to wait for the Yanks. They've spent 2 for that one, 2 for that one. So we're down to 24 now. Throw their surprise attack marker out here. They activate this with the Med Fleet and the first American convoy. And they're going to invade. They go 1, 2 into C-Zone 8, and they're going to invade. I could go to just Bordeaux and move across. But I think I really want Nantes so that I have, like, the Brittany Peninsula to build up out of. Right? That sound right? Sounds like that's a better idea. So I'm going to go ahead and just land at 3208. And then I will attack the 4th garrison. I will use this airplane. And when we get to combat commitment, I will throw in the airplane. The Germans don't have anything. I think that's the only thing I can add, is the airplane. So I end up at +1 for British, +2 because I'm armored, +2 for an airplane, +2 for the fleet, -1 for a city, -1 for attacking a unit in an invasion turn. And this is a garrison unit, so he's +2 for German, -2 for garrison, so he's a 0. Oh, and then I took off 2. I did take off 2. Okay, so it's a +5 to a 0. Let's see if I take the hex. British roll. 2 + 5 is a 7. Germans roll. A 1. Yeah, I took the hex. I think I actually flipped him, too. I had a 5 + 2 is a 7. So, yeah, it's a DD, and since he's a garrison unit, he just goes on the faction track. Don't want to change the size of the faction track. Stop it. Just want to move it. So he goes into the eliminated box, but I don't get a will point for that because it's a garrison unit. But I do get to take Nantes. Just done. Cank that. And then these guys will come down here. I'll just put the Med Fleet next to this convoy. And they each take a sortie. So, yeah, boy, howdy, holy crap, the British have invaded. British have invaded very successfully. Wow. Okay. Well, what else can we do? I think we're going to activate both of these units. Sortie. What they're going to do, I just went ahead and put the sorties on them so that when I move them, I don't have to do so much work. They're going to move up into... Oh, it's not here yet. That's right. We'll move them into there. Because I know I'm going to have the first armored. It's going to come out in mobilization. So I just want to be there to grab him and run back right away with him to reinforce the beaches. So that's why I did that. Is there anything else? Oh, then the other thing is to play the games with the Germans. We've been doing this for a while. Is that airplane? 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to leave the second RAF right there because they can, between them and the one in Plymouth, we can support either one of these in defense. So we can run up lots of sorties if we need to. Okay, the same silliness we did last time. It's -5 for the Americans and it's +1 for the Germans. Real quick, it's -2 because you're a bomber, -4 for sorties. That's -6, but you're +1 because you're American. Same thing happens with the British. So basically, on this first turn, I need to have the Germans roll a 1 for me to get a bomb through. They didn't. So, bing, bing. And then they go up a sortie. And then it's a 1 or a 2 when the British go in. If they get a 1 or a 2, they're going after Dusseldorf. If the Germans get a 1 or a 2, I get a bomb marker on there. And they rolled a 4, so they, and it takes him up to 3 sorties. I'm just trying to stretch the German economy any way I can. That's 2 production points for him to, or 3 production points for him to bring those down to make him effective against my airplanes. So, if he doesn't do that, then it'll be easier for me to get things through next turn. Oh, I forgot to spend a point for the Germans. I'm going to let them do this. I'm sorry. This guy was supposed to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I totally forgot he was there. I am allowing this because I know that I had planned on that when I was doing my German. I couldn't figure out why I had 21. I thought I should be at 20. And I was right. I should be at 20. So, oopsie doopsie, I went and fixed it. Like I said, that's the problem when you're playing solo. You're trying to get done with time so fast here. When I'm doing these recordings, that sometimes I don't look at the entire map and figure out if I missed a move or not. So I think that is all for the British. They just have to do their supply stuff, right? So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 British there. So we're going to do 2 sorties on each of these. And then there's 2 Americans. We're just going to let the Americans keep doing themselves for now. And yeah, okay. That looks like that's supply here. Then I have to go do supply. I actually have to do supply in so this guy goes 1, and this guy goes 1 to supply each of these units. Now I'm at the end of the operations phase, so I need to do first off for the airdrop. I have to roll to see if I get it back. Rolled a 4. I was afraid he's going to roll a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I don't get it back to January, but I do get it back. So I'll have it in 1944, which is nice. The surprise attack markers go into the surprise attack marker holding box. The American one will be coming right back out since they have unlimited production points. I always thought they should have just been limited to like 59 to represent. That's how much they're sending to Europe. And then when you do the other one when he does the sequel to the Pacific, then you can say they have 59 in the Pacific, and then it'll make sense. Because they'll have 118 compared to the best Russians can ever get to is 59. So, yeah, I think that's it. So that's the Western phase. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any other obvious German moves. I think that was the only one, was just the guy was hanging back here, and I meant to move him up right away. And I never quite looked at that part of the map. So, yeah, okay. So, we will call that the British turn. This is Dren 608. If you like the videos that you're seeing, please subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. I do respond to comments, so please leave some. And we will be back shortly with the Soviet portion of the September 1943 turn and the end of turn phases. Bye-bye.